Hey, it's Nick Zara again with the Douglas Tucker Real Estate Team. And we're here again with Doug. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see Nick. Most people probably don't recognize Nick. This is the first video since his haircut.
Exactly. But so now that we're in November, November 19th, I guess the big question is, where are we now with the market, Doug?
Yeah, good question. Always. So ran the numbers through today, and market's still very strong based on the numbers. Specifically, let's see, the new sales um, through November 19th in 2020, Morris County, all of Morris County, is 450 new sales reported. For the same period last year, only 279. So that's like a 62% increase in the number of buyers buying for the same period. And then when you look on the supply side of the market, listing wise, last year through November 19th, there were 394 new listings that hit the market, and this year 387. It's almost the same number. So supply's about the same, and demand is way up. So it really still makes for a very strong market, and we're still in a hot spot for sure.
So as we get into the winter months, how do you see that hotspot moving forward?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. A lot of talk in the industry right now about the spike in COVID and the coming vaccine and how that's going to influence the market out in the northwest suburbs of New Jersey. And it's really hard to predict. Certainly, if this current spike is similar to what we saw in March, then that will create a larger flight of buyers out to the suburbs and make things, continue to keep things good, maybe even better. But once the vaccine comes, we could see a lot of that getting reversed. Fewer buyers coming out to the suburbs, some of the buyers going back into the cities. So from that perspective, I think there's a hot spot in the market, and if somebody's thinking about selling, they'd be better off doing it sooner and not missing out on it. So what is normally not such a great time to have your house on the market could turn out to be a very good time. So the winter months could be very good for sellers, and with historically low interest rates, it's also a good reason for buyers to enter the market.
So it's definitely not your typical winter.
No, not at all. It's not been a typical year. Very different. In fact, we were looking at some numbers earlier today, where March and April are usually our really big months, or two of the weakest months of the year, mostly because we were in the height of COVID. And then here later in the year, when things usually tend to slow down, the numbers are actually much higher. So not a typical year, and still in a hotspot.
Okay. So when it comes to preparing your home for sale, whether it's to sell this winter or potentially next spring, what's the timeline that you usually give people? When should they meet with a realtor?
Yeah, good question. And I think the biggest mistake most sellers make is they wait too long. They really should be reaching out to us much earlier in the process. If someone's thinking of selling in 2021, even at the end of the year, they should be talking to us now, right? Because preparing your house for sale is a big undertaking, and having to do it in the last minute either is very stressful or it just doesn't get done right. So by having us out earlier in the year, one of the great benefits of our team concept is we have a staging specialist on the team who will come out and do a room-by-room walkthrough and give the homeowner a complete punch list of all the things that they can do to prepare their house for sale. Additionally, we work with an outside staging company that can bring furnishings in, accessories, etc. So there's all kinds of things that we can do to help the seller prepare, in addition to instructing them not to do many things. That's the other mistake I see, is a lot of sellers do things that don't help. In fact, they hurt. So having us out in advance makes a lot of sense. Most people will say to us, "Oh, well, my house isn't ready. It's not cleaned up yet or whatever, exactly, that's when we want to see it. So we can tell you how to clean it up, how to get it ready. So I would say anybody who's thinking of selling in 2021, reach out to us now, get an appointment on the calendar so we can start putting a plan together for you to get it ready for the market.
Right. It seems as though for some reason people don't want us or a realtor to see the clutter, to see the floors before they're not refinished, to see the rooms before they're painted, but that's the time that we should see it.
We need to tell them, here's the color you should be using to paint those rooms. Here's the finish that you should be putting on the floors. Here's what you should be decluttering. Here's what you should be moving out of the way. You need our instruction on that, and you should have us be part of that process, not wait until it's done.
Right, exactly. But I mean, that's obviously all very good information. Doug, you have anything else to add to that?
No, I think that's it for now until the next time. So yeah, right now it would be a great time for sellers to reach out to us. As I said, still a great time to purchase and take advantage of interest rates. So hot spot in the market, and take advantage of it.
Absolutely. And if you are thinking of selling maybe next year, in the spring, in the summer, later in the year, then always feel free to reach out to us, because we urge you to see us before you wait too long.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Doug.
All right. Next time.
Bye.